Celebrating 10 years of award-winning car talk, it's the In Wheel Time Car Show. Coming up, Richard Tomlin gives us an SCCA update. Conrad has the car clinic. We'll have this week's auto news. Howdy, along with that guy there, Mike out of this world Mars.
Our own Jerry Garcia lookalike.
Except, does Jerry wear glasses? Yeah.
No, Jerry's dead.
Did he wear glasses?
What are you saying? How's that?
You're in better shape than Jerry Garcia.
King Conrad
Jerry
DeLong.
Garcia's eyes were generally squinted as well.
Yeah.
King Conrad. Yes, they were.
Dilated, too.
Yeah, smoking and potting it up.
In the boys' room.
And King Konrad DeLong is back.
What? Glad to be here.
Yeah, good to see you. And we need more Jeff Zekin.
We do.
Is here with us as well. So thank you for joining us on this Saturday. Hurricane coming to Louisiana, unfortunately.
Oh, man.
But wish all them.
On the 16th anniversary of Katrina.
Yeah, that's terrible. All right.
But joining us on Zoom
is Richard Tomlin.
El
El Presidente, SCCA, Houston, Texas.
Uh-huh.
Richard, you looking fit?
Spiffy.
Morning, guys.
How are you?
Doing amazing.
Are you?
Good.
Always.
What are you
Yeah.
doing? Besides talking to us, what are you doing?
Getting ready for SCCA Nationals between solo and road race. This is our time of the year where we close everything out and crown champions. So
Where is this event going to be held?
One's at Indianapolis, so we'll run the F1 course at Indy.
Wow.
That event will have about 700 people there. We've got 29 from the Houston region that are signed up. So really good representation of our group here in Houston. And autocross happens in Lincoln, Nebraska. That is the largest motorsports participation event in the world. We'll have over 1,200 entries, and almost 40 of those are from Houston.
And
Wow.
and are you going as El Presidente, or are you going as a driver, or are you going
I
as
won't
a
be driving
support?
either one of them this year.
Okay.
I will be attending the one at Indy, supporting our two drivers from the Hands On Driving Academy.
Oh,
be
cool.
crewing, making sure those cars are ready and running. So we'll have our two veterans both in cars competing nationally this year in the B-Spec series.
Sweet.
What kind of cars are they?
Both of those will be in Honda Fits this year. We had tried the Mini Cooper earlier in the year. Transmission, we couldn't keep it cool enough because with them not having use of their legs, they're running the automatic transmission. So generating a ton of heat and put a major cooler on it, it's still not enough.
And those are CVTs too, aren't they?
The Mini is a CVT,
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah. Which is
So
the
the Honda
downfall of
Fit,
the
we
CVT.
found a 2008 Fit that's actually a sport automatic, which has basically a sequential paddle buttons on the steering wheel.
Oh,
No buttons,
nice.
sequential, but works really well. So
And I'm looking at this that the SCCA Tire Solo Nationals is September 6th through the 10th, and you said that's going to be in Indianapolis.
that one is in Lincoln, Nebraska.
Oh, the Solo 2 is Lincoln,
Yeah.
Nebraska.
Yep. That'll be Lincoln. Big airfield up there.
Cool.
Some active airfield.
1,200 drivers.
I cannot imagine anything in Lincoln, Nebraska. This must be
Except
the event in Lincoln, Nebraska.
I think they have a college there called University of Nebraska as well.
Well,
In
I'm
Lincoln.
not talking about schooling now. I'm talking about, things to do.
Okay. So it's-
things that are fun.
I think it's football season too. So I think Nebraska football is kind of big to Nebraskans.
Okay.
But OU stomps them all the time. That's why they ran away to the Big 12 because they could, or the what's the Michigan
Big Ten.
Big 10
Yeah.
because they couldn't
People
hang
love
with the Big
Nebraska.
12.
It's okay.
But anyhow, so you said you're bringing two cars to support at Indy, but you have some of the locals are also going to Lincoln.
Oh yeah, we'll have well represented force for our solo. We run one of the larger regions for solo in the country. On our average weekend, we'll have 150 to 175 members out racing here in town. So to have 40 of them pack their bags and head north to Lincoln is a pretty big deal for us.
So when you guys get there, as let's say this group that's going to Lincoln, do they all kind of park not next to each other, but in the same general area, if it's
We
possible?
sure try. The ones that we like, we keep very close. The ones we don't like, we just go to the other end of the park themselves.
Yeah, that's why Don's sitting all the way over there.
Yeah.
Right. He's the one on his own side. We all see that.
And when you go as support, how much parts do they bring with them? Because, in an event like that, I'm sure they've got to be prepared for some breakage.
Now, the theory is 2 is 1 and 1 is none. So if you have any fears or thoughts that it could fail,
Double it.
You bring it with you.
Okay.
Now, when you're looking at an event like the solo, the autocross stuff that we do, your session may only be 20 minutes total, and 4 minutes of that's going to be driving. So you've got to be ready to go. There's not a lot you can change in that period of time.
Okay.
Or
So,
Now, road race completely different. You'll bring a spare car.
so in the solo nationals, you get one run.
You'll get 4. Well, you get 3 attempts each day, and your fastest run of those 3 attempts each day get added together for a cumulative total.
Oh,
That's how they crown a champion.
well, that seems pretty fair.
And how much time are you going to spend on course per run? Minute, 2 minutes?
50 to 75 seconds per run. So you've got a minute. You'll have over 100 maneuvers to make inside of that 60 seconds.
So I'll have an entire 60 seconds to screw it up.
Well, you won't have any
it
tires
won't
left
take you
when
that
you're done.
long.
Won't take you that long.
No, you're right. About the first 5 seconds, it's all I'd take.
Thank
Not
you,
take
Richard.
long your first couple times.
So your group that's going to Indianapolis, are they just competing, and I would assume just competing in everybody else's category? They're not going for a category that's specific for
No, they're
hand controls?
competing straight up in B-Spec series. This is a very, very quickly growing group where you take the Econobox cars and take them out there. So they will be competing heads up against able-bodied people. So very, very happy about that.
Yeah.
One of our regional guys, Ryan, at the last race, he was 3rd until the last lap, got pushed back to 4th. But he was actually competing against a nationally crowned champion that passed him to get 3rd.
Well, good
So
for
we've
him.
proven that they have the speed and pace to play. It's just the focus, and that's what makes road racing so great. Is it takes a long time to learn the craft and the discipline called racecraft.
Well, and the experience adds to that.
Yep.
Because then you learn more and more how to defend your position legally. A lot
Legally.
of people defend their position. It might not be right, and then that's when it comes up to the SCCA officials to make decisions on
Yeah.
what was done and what was correct. Will you be taking part in any of that officiating as well, or are you just going?
Currently, I'm not on a list, and I'm
Okay.
good with that. It's that's an event where you don't want to be the center of attention because there's a lot at stake at this event.
Oh,
No,
yeah, it's the
this-
nationals.
This coming weekend, we've got our last road race of the year, which qualifies you for the runoffs, which will be Saturday, Sunday, Monday event at MSR Houston. So we've got about 100 people signed up for this one already.
Holy cow.
2 days of road racing. And then Monday we'll come back. We'll do a time trials track sprint to introduce people to what road racing is. And then the afternoon we'll be doing a 4-hour enduro to get people on track and race for 4 hours straight. 2 to 3 men per team. Go play.
And
Wow.
how many cars out of your garage are going?
About 6.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Is your Monster Mazda going?
No, Mazda's staying. We just got some new toys for the Mazda, so we've got some work to do there.
I saw you post a new pickup truck on
People
your.
love that thing, don't they?
Yes. Well, that's
I love it as well. That's why I went and picked it up. But
that's truly
it's,
the old compact truck.
yeah, a little Datsun 620. I think it's interesting though, and I bring these vehicles in, and a picture of a vehicle unfinished will get more likes and more comments than one finished. It's kind of the whole rat rod fetish, as I call it.
Mm-hmm.
The issue, or my belief is, when you see a car that's not done, you can envision it the way you would. If I see a yellow Corvette with chrome wheels, I just go, I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't own a yellow Corvette. I'd own a white one, maybe a red one. But if I see it in primer or some other color, it
Black.
doesn't matter. Black, no black ones. So everybody's got what they like. And I think when you show a picture like that Datsun where it's unfinished, people use their own creativity and their own imagination as what they would do with it. Hence the engagement on the car and people liking it more.
Well, that's slightly unfinished because it's kind of rusty.
Well, on the
Beautiful.
rat, the
Beautiful.
rat, the
It's
rat
called
rod people.
Patina.
are never done with it. There's
Exactly.
always something to do
Always
on a rat
something to
rod.
do.
It's never done.
Yep. That's the point. That's the goal. Keep working. Never stop.
Yep.
You're the guy with the Falcon. The red. It was a Falcon, if I remember correctly. I don't remember. Maybe it was a Merc. Now, is he going to be participating this weekend, or is he going to go?
He's actually at Brainerd Raceway this weekend. Him and grandson are up there competing in the B-Spec cars, just practicing. They'll be back here this weekend racing again, and they have one more weekend of racing. They'll take 2 weeks off and then off to nationals.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, he'll be racing. He actually races a red Mini Cooper that he's had for a few years.
Cool.
It's extremely competitive and up front. He ran a K-Code Mustang for a few years. He used to run SVRA as well. He actually has the 510 Datsun race car, B production car now also.
Which was
He's got a ton of toys.
the 510 was quite a popular car back in the 70s and 80s, as far as a road for a Datsun 4-door road race car, Datsun 2-door sedan, or road race car.
Secret weapon.
Yep.
Nobody thinks about how light that car is.
Yep.
I would throw out there, wrench rally dates are coming up as well. October 21st will be wrench rally from Minneapolis to Houston. And this time, instead of doing single parents, we are going to be donating all proceeds to HODA, so the Hands-On Driving Academy, so that we can try and get 5 drivers to nationals next year is our goal.
That's very cool. Very cool. Minnesota, you said, to
Minneapolis,
Minnesota.
Minneapolis.
Okay.
It's going to be a haul. It'll be 3 days, just like all the other ones. Gimmick rally style. You will be sent all across the country. You'll cross at least 2 mountain ranges. It will be in the fall, so you'll get to see some leaves and some color. Plenty of American history along the way, and some fun things.
Well, yeah, because you always have earn points by going off course to see something or gather something, and it's to follow it online is a lot of fun as well. So October 21st, not too worried about seeing much of the white stuff, are we?
It's okay. We'll figure it out, right? They're prepared for it up there.
It's called drifting.
Drifting.
No, the snow drifts is what it is.
Drift right across the road. It'll be all right.
So you're going to have snow tires with cleats in them, with studs, and then you got to change those out when you get down to about Ohio.
And is that going to be wrench rally rules? Typically, is show up in Minneapolis, buy a $1,500, $2,000 car, and drive it to Houston.
$2,000. We've raised it now. It's $2,000 limit. So
inflation, because used car prices went up so much.
Yeah, used car prices are stupid right now.
Yes, they are.
Really, the point there was trying to get a better product for people. We do have a mechanic chase truck that runs behind. So the chase truck last time had 2 full-time mechanics in it. So if you do run into a problem, we're able to fix it, help you get you off the road safely, so that you don't feel like you're traveling across America by yourself. That is part of the fun, but we don't want to leave anybody behind.
Is it a 2-member team, or 3 or 4, or is
However many
that
you
changed?
can fit in your vehicle. You need at least 2.
Okay.
But we've had teams of 5 that have shown up, and that's how the rally is set up now, is you just pay per person to show up. Includes your hotels, includes dinner each night, breakfast along the way.
Perfect.
It's a riot. We'll see a lot more of it on Facebook this time too, Conrad. We did a lot of the road strap. Really like the road strap for live tracking, live availability of seeing things. But for the availability of sharing the experience and photos, Instagram and Facebook do a pretty good job of that. So you'll see us migrating over to that social media channel more this time.
Did you ever get your help with you'd gone out for a request for a website developer that was willing to donate a little bit of their time to help you build a web page for it?
Yeah, we've not struck gold there yet. So
if there's anybody watching or listening that's interested, contact us at info@inwheeltime.com, and we'll connect you with Richard. It's all for a good cause, for the Hands-On Driving Academy, and coming up with the wrench rally October 21st from Minneapolis to Houston, and all proceeds going to Hands-On Driving Academy. That's awesome.
Wear a sweater.
Yeah. Wear galoshes.
Might be a little chilly. Well, Seattle wasn't horrible. Seattle was pretty bad when we actually did that one, and that was a Halloween start up there. Coming through the pass in the mountains, we did see a bunch of snow.
Oh, okay.
But nobody really had problems with it. One car with no heater. So that was
lovely.
epic for them.
Must have been a Volkswagen.
They just had a cuddle going over the.
You got your checklist of used cars to buy.
Maybe that was done on purpose.
Make sure heater works.
Yeah, it was done on purpose.
Well, cool.
Richard, thank you so much for joining us today. It's always good to see you.
Apex Motor Works, Alvin,
We'll be around.
Texas.
You bet.
All right, well, take care of yourself, and let's stay in touch.
Play with toys.
Okay.
Take care.
All right. I'll talk to y'all soon.
All righty. Thanks.
Time now for Conrad's Car Clinic. We haven't had a good car clinic in a while.
Oh,
Well,
cleansing.
and Don, this one was for you. 'cause
Whoa. I was doing the car clinic. Those weren't good enough?
They were good.
They were
All right,
wonderful,
good, but,
Jeffrey.
but you know,
They were wonderful, Jeffrey.
He does such a good job.
He's awesome.
And today is about vibrators.
What?
You know, the top 4 questions about brake vibration.
Yeah.
So, you know, vibrating brake pedal is a common concern. A lot of people feel it as well. But it's not a good
Boy,
thing.
do they.
Yeah, it's not a good thing to ignore. Your brakes are one of the most important safety features on your vehicle, and maintenance is needed to help keep them operating correctly. If you're having a significant brake vibration, you need to take it into a qualified shop and have them take a look at it and give you an opinion.
And the key word there is qualified.
Shop, right. And have them take a look at it. And in some instances, they need to drive it so that the shop foreman / technician can feel what you're talking about, and you can actually go, that's what I'm feeling, because they can wander off different directions and start throwing parts at it, and may or may not correct it. But if you're slamming on your brakes, there are many reasons your pedal can vibrate. Usually it's a sign of a broken or worn out component that needs to be replaced. But in some instances, especially if you're on a slick or a sandy surface, it could just be your analog brake system functioning. As your analog brake system functions, you'll feel the pedal pulsate and the whole car will vibrate as the car comes to a stop. That's normal. So that's one of those things you want to make sure you can identify for them to make sure you're not chasing a normal condition because of the analog brakes. Brake vibrations, sometimes it can be caused by the pads. The average pads on brakes generally are going to last somewhere to 40 to 50,000 miles. The Chevrolet trucks will go 100, 120,000 miles on a set of brakes, which is kind of mind-boggling, but, depends on the material the pads are made out of as well as the strength of the rotors and stuff. So excessive force from slamming on the brakes at high speeds can diminish the integrity of the brake pads, and if your brakes are squeaking or taking longer to stop, it's time to bring them in and have somebody take a look at them.
Don't forget the warped rotors.
Mm-hmm. Well, and the warped rotor, and I was going to talk about that next, is brake rotors. They wear out. They have to be a certain thickness to meet specification. And in a lot of instances today on the import cars, they can't cut rotors. They just replace rotors. On a lot of the domestics.
Why can't they cut them?
Because they're so thin to start with.
Oh.
There's no meat left when they're
Gotcha.
done. Mm-hmm. So a lot of the domestics, you can cut them once, maybe twice if it's a thin cut both times, and still stay in spec. But everybody knows what those specs are. But if you're driving an import, they're going to probably replace rotors. Now, when you talk about brake rotor warpage, it can be because the rotor, the big disc, has warped, but there's also a condition that's caused by your wheels being put on and uneven torque being applied to the 5 bolts there. So when that happens on the brake rotor, if you turned it on its side, it looks like a top hat with the big wheel on the bottom, and then the top hat, and then the wheel studs are up here for the top hat. So when they bolt the wheel on unevenly, it actually puts a warp in the rotor.
Twist.
So it could be something, just a torsional twist in the rotor. It could be something as simple as your wheels need to be taken off and torqued on correctly. Make sure anybody who's putting your wheels on
I get torqued off all the time.
is using that Craftsman torque wrench Don likes, and you want to feel that click when it goes in. Even though George Skelton sent you a wonderful new torque wrench that will work even better.
We're going to use that on a shifter when we put that in.
And another area that can cause brake vibration is worn suspension components. If your vehicle's brakes have checked out, the vibration may be a sign that there's a problem with your front suspension. Ball joints, tie rods, struts, shocks, steering stabilizer could all need to be replaced. And again, that's going to take a qualified person to do the inspection for you. And then tires and alignment can also cause brake vibration. You know, if your alignment's out, when you brake, the toe-in will change on a vehicle, as the braking forces apply, and that can cause a skidder or a scraping of the tire as it tows in harder, which causes significant tire wear. It also is one of those things that causes tire cupping. So all of those things can be part of what causes your brake vibration. The best thing you can do is make sure that you get all those things checked. When you bring your car to a shop for basically anything, as simple as an oil change or as complicated as getting a Hurst shifter put in it, that shop should do a multi-point vehicle inspection, and you want that multi-point inspection done on your vehicle, because that means that a certified and a qualified tech is going to look at all of those components and then give you their opinion of what's necessary on your car, because they look for safety, repair, and maintenance needs of your vehicle and make those recommendations to you. But brakes are something you need to get checked on a frequent basis, and anytime you get your tires rotated, they should be inspecting your brake and giving you a report back on that MPVI of the quality of your brakes.
I heard, going down the street the other day, in front of me, I was walking the dog, a car that clearly needed brakes. They weren't even on the brakes, and you hear them going,
That's the sensor. That's the
oh, no,
indicator.
it's gone way beyond that.
I have seen vehicles come into the shop where, now on a domestic car, the brake rotors are really pretty meaty, and this was actually a pickup truck. And then there's vents inside of it to cool it off, that the outer, let me think. Yeah, the outer surface of the rotor had, and you could see it through the wheel, had worn so much metal off the rotor that you could see the vents.
There's no rotor left.
The shop showed the customer a picture of it and said, we're not going to let you drive out of here without signing a document acknowledging how bad your brakes are. The customer said, I never heard that.
Oh, come
That's
on.
news to me.
How can you...
The document or the noise on the brakes?
No, the noise on the brakes.
Yeah, well, see.
But there are some conditions where when you're driving and you're not touching the brake and you hear that faint squeal, that's your wear indicator.
Yeah, that's a little piece of metal.
That's rubbing on the rotor, that's designed to squeal to make you go get your brakes checked.
I like making them squeal.
I knew you were going there.
I love making them squeal.
Squeal like a pair of front brakes.
That's right. So there's that.
Pretty lips.
So there's your story on vibrators, Don.
Thank you very much. All right.
Where are we going with this now?
Tesla CEO Elon Musk said the company was working on improving the much-awaited update to its self-driving software, quote-unquote, as fast as possible. The executive tweeted that the full self-driving beta version 9.2 is actually, this is a quote, actually not great IMO, in my opinion. But Autopilot AI team is rallying to improve as fast as possible.
The government's looking heavy at their autonomous driving.
Tesla had recently come under the scrutiny of U.S. safety regulators, who opened an investigation into its driver assistance system because of accidents where its cars crashed into parked police cars and fire trucks.
Thinking that the system and the cameras are drawn to the flashing lights.
Yeah. Ford Motor Company has scrapped plans to build a pickup version of the Bronco off-road SUV, kind of like the Gladiator that Jeep makes, according to two sources knowledgeable about the decision. The automaker planned to introduce a Bronco-based pickup in 2024, but in recent months has informed suppliers the program was canceled. The new vehicle would have given Ford 3 pickups smaller than the F-150, in addition to the Ranger and upcoming Maverick, and a direct competitor to the Jeep Gladiator. However, it would have greatly overlapped and likely hurt sales of the similarly sized Ranger.
See, and they were going to call it the Stallion.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I've heard
staying
that before.
in the horse theme of things.
Stud.
That's what they call
Bronco.
me.
Put the stallion out the
call
stud.
me. Stallion.
A horse is patoot.
A horse is a horse, of course, unless,
Ed.
of course, it's a talking horse.
There you go.
The famous Mr. Ed.
Thank you.
Ford Motor Company is directing some owners of the 2021 F-150 pickup, the nation's best-selling vehicle, to not drive their vehicles if the driver's side seat belt fails a self-inspection test. According to U.S. vehicle safety regulators, the automaker is recalling 16,000 F-150s in the U.S. manufactured with the Super Cab body style. The front seatbelt webbing on those vehicles may be incorrectly routed and therefore may be not adequately restrain an occupant in a crash, according to the document.
Oh, I heard that it was tightening up more when you apply the brakes.
The affected vehicles were manufactured between January 2nd and May 27th of this year. Ford's regular cab and crew cab body styles use a different seatbelt assembly and are not part of the recall, according to NHTSA.
You ever closely looked at seatbelt webbing? Just pull one out and look at it and seen just how fine that design is. Mm-hmm. When you're buying a used car, look at the seatbelt webbing, because if it's been in an accident, that pattern is distorted. Maybe it's been in an accident. You're buying from an individual, and you ask, was it in a wreck? And of course, everybody says no. Well, if you see that seatbelt pattern distorted, that means that it's jerked somebody back in the seat.
You can do that if you slam on your brakes or try to avoid a crash. It will pull you as well.
Yeah, but that force of impact is what distorts it. Interesting.
Yeah.
A quick break now. Is that okay?
I think I've got it ready.
Well, I heard Ford was also going to double their F-150 Lightning production due to high demand.
Yes, we had that story a couple of weeks ago when you weren't here.
Yeah.
Oh, should have been here.
That's what I get for not paying attention.
Should have been here.
Again. All right, quick break now. We'll be right back here on the In Wheel Time Car Show.
Winning the highest sales satisfaction award among all luxury brands from J.D. Power in 2020 tells you everything you need to know about your Lincoln purchase from Bayway. Bayway Lincoln is where a premium buying experience is a priority, and you're invited to feel it yourself. This Houstonian-owned premier dealership is managed by Lincoln Stahl, a seasoned member of the Bayway family. If it's online, in person, or in your own driveway, Bayway gets you to the luxury level you deserve. Bayway Lincoln is on the Gulf Freeway at Fuquay, just inside Beltway 8. Visit BaywayLincoln.com today. Tailpipes and Tacos, Houston's premier monthly car cruise-in, returns Saturday, September 18th at 2 Loopy Tortilla Mexican restaurants in Katy and inside the Loop on the Southwest Freeway near Kirby. Tailpipes and Tacos is free and everyone's invited. You'll see collector cars, hot rods, customs, magnificent originals, and resto mods at 2 locations. Cars from all over Southeast Texas cruise in and show off in a friends and family event at the Loopy Tortilla Mexican Restaurant on the Grand Parkway at Kingsland Boulevard, just south of I-10 in Katy, and inside the Loop on the Southwest Freeway near Kirby. Drag racer, car enthusiast, and Loopy founder Stan Holt brings you Houston's hottest cruise-in, Tailpipes and Tacos, inside the Loop on the Southwest Freeway in Kirby, and in Katy on the Grand Parkway just south of I-10, where you'll see the In Wheel Time Car Show. Get your ride ready, and we'll see you at the Tailpipes and Tacos Saturday morning cruise-in, September 18th, 8 to 11 a.m., weather permitting. Gulf Coast Auto Shield has moved to a more convenient location. Now you can visit John Gray and his staff of dedicated professionals at their new shop on the South Sam Houston Parkway between Belford and Airport in Southwest Houston. Gulf Coast Auto Shield is the best at paint correction and ceramic coatings. Clear bras and custom wraps are specialties that only Gulf Coast Auto Shield installs with award-winning accuracy, and all their services come with a warranty. Lamborghini, Aston Martin, Porsche, and Ferrari owners depend on Gulf Coast Auto Shield for their specialty services, and you should too. The In Wheel Time Corvette and Cutlass have both been massaged by Gulf Coast Auto Shield, so isn't it time your vehicle visit their new shop in Southwest Houston? Call John Gray today at 832-930-5655 or visit online at gcautoshield.com. That's gcautoshield.com. Paint, coatings, wraps, and more at gcautoshield.com.